Now I'm there also. You should have entered in another way. You entered in a wrong way. Okay, that's no problem. Next time you will not. I know how to help.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So are we online?
Yeah.
Okay, dokie. No pressure then. Right. As I was saying, it's a pleasure to get to know you all at last. I beg your patience all over again. Believe me, I'll give you plenty of opportunities to exercise it. I know I have to introduce myself already, but shortly, and I will do it again, and I'll ask you to do it again. I would like us to break the ice with introductions to start with. The purpose of us doing introductions is, yes, to start to get to know each other. I will forget names and something else I need to beg your forgiveness for. But also we need to start sharing something important, an agreement of how we listen to information at C1. C1 is a level that requires entering an agreement with our listeners and with our audiences, and we will see a bit at a time what kind of agreements these are. So English at C1, I can only tell you what I think, yes, but by all means do not take it as a final judgment on what it is. C1 means that you are studying to obtain cognitive academic language proficiency. So they're called CALPs for sure, instead of BICs. Who know them? Who knows them? Have you ever heard about CALP and BICs and the distinction between them?
Yes, I did.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
So do you want to say something, or would you be happy to share?
I try to. I studied them when I was learning Italian as a second language teaching. And BICS refers to the ability to communicate in a language, and CALP, the ability to study and to practice cognitive process to understand and more complex texts.
Absolutely.
Or written, so on.
So absolutely. And this is the reason why CALP is not native. It's not a native skill. CALP is learned, and even natives must learn them because it is an advanced skill. It has its own agreements, it has its own vocabulary, but most importantly, it starts having rules for interacting in academic fields. And therefore, as our colleague has just said, when we learn at university, when we learn at school, when we use them basically for cognitive academic language proficiency. So I am going to challenge you all to make a short presentation, a 30 seconds introduction. I will go first, and what I would like us to do is in 30 seconds, I would like us to do a presentation saying who we are, what we do, how we do them, how we do it, where, when, and why. And if I share my screen, I should be able to share my screen to give you a recap of what I want you to do, yeah? So bear with me 1 second. This is when, you know, your patience starts being tried. Okay, so so if I share this, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Obviously, you can't see it very well because I don't trust myself getting out of this because I'll never show it again. Can you reasonably see it though? Can you see it reasonably well?
I'm sorry, it's perfect.
Okie dokie. Okay. So basically, as you can see, it's a 30-second introduction. And before I start, I want you to get the chance to have a look at it and start thinking what you would say. Yeah. So I cut myself some time. You're not seeing me. Can you see that I'm changing screen, or keep you? Are you keeping on?
I see everything perfectly.
But no, sorry. Can you see the same slide?
Yes, we see slides, your picture. We see all the page open in Google Drive with all the files.
No, then it's not what I want.
It's
Sorry.
not this one. No.
You open that one.
Okay, now. Yes.
Now
I want you to see only that, but every time I'm not able to select it, obviously. So you see the whole lot, basically. Blast. Okay. So can you actually see? Sorry, I need to keep asking this, but can you see only this slide, or can you see also my other PowerPoint?
No, just your slide. The slide.
Okay.
30 seconds introduction.
I'm very clean. I'm very clean with that, yeah? Right. So you don't see anything else, yeah?
No.
Good. Okay. I'm finally going to be quiet now because I'm going to give you 30 seconds, 1 minute to get your head around what you would say. And then I'm going to start to give you an example of a 30 seconds introduction. Okay. So what I also wanted to do before I learned to do every other trick in the box, I have just shared with you this slide in the folder called W1 Writing What You Hear. It is in the drive that I tried to share, inviting you yesterday or today. If you don't see it, please do forgive me. It is my fault, and I will make sure that you can view the drive in one way or another, okay? But yeah, I am going to start my presentation now. Is that okay?
Okay.
Right, so that's the challenge. Start. Okay, I'm Sara, and I'm a teacher. And currently, I'm actually teaching online and in class. I teach in Italy at the moment. And I have been teaching here for 1 year and 1 month. I came because I could, and however, I do often feel like I'm abroad. Anyway, that's all from me. So I did try it beforehand, and this is why it basically came exactly at 30 seconds. Now, without really trying to be, to force it, basically, would you like to try it? Would you like to try it yourselves?
Yes, why not?
Good, excellent. So shall we start?
Yes, I'm Sandra. I've been an English teacher for quite a long time, but luckily I'm still enjoying my job. I love kids and I'm mainly a primary teacher. I'm also teaching to toddlers and kindergarten kids. Yes, this is going to be a very challenging school year because of coronavirus measures. But I'm still trying to do my best in order to be effective, in order for my teaching be effective. So I think 30 seconds has gone. Have I got more time? Could you hear me?
Yes, brilliant. Finished. Okay, so fantastic. I didn't understand that you finished. When we finish, just let's just say something like, right, that's me, or pass it over to someone else. Why don't you choose someone else if you know anyone?
No, I don't know. Actually, I only know Elena Milli. So
okay,
if Elena Milli wants, is glad to introduce herself.
I don't want anyone to be put on the spot. This is something that we do only if we feel like, yeah, it's the first one. So just do it if you want to.
I'll do it. Okay, I can go on. Okay, so my name is Monica and I'm a teacher. I teach in a secondary school, and this is my dream job because like 20 years ago I used to do something completely different, and then I had this chance and I took it. And how do I teach? Well, my students are they give me directions, they give me hints, and I have learned that if I listen to them and not what they say, but what they need, that's for me is the best indication for my job. So that's it.
Thank you, Monica. Anyone else?
Emanuele.
Okay, go ahead, Manuele.
Hello, everybody. I am teacher of German language. I've been teaching German for 15 years. I live in Legnago. It is in the south of Verona, so-called La Bassa. Well, I hope to enhance my competencies here in this beautiful course with you, Sarah, and all my colleagues. So that's it. Okay.
Thank you, Manuel. Anyone else?
Welcome.
Well, okay, I'll try. Oh. Go ahead. So, hello, I'm Nicoletta. I'm a special educational needs teacher now. I was an English teacher. I've been teaching in CFP for ages, and then I became a special educational needs teacher in Negrar. So this was where, how do I teach to these kind of students? I try to teach, well, I try to listen to them and keep well, I don't want to teach them, but I have to help them learning. This is the difference, I think, big difference. And we're in Negrar at the moment. I hope not. I hope I'll change in the future. And when? Well, every morning. Why? Because I worked with disability when I was at university. So some years ago, I tried to put together my two souls. I think that was more than 30 minutes and 30 seconds, but well.
It's okay. We're not, there are no prizes and no punishments. So let's not worry. Let's
30 seconds.
Okay. Let's get to know each other. And as I said, if you don't want to do it, you know, there's no, it's not a problem. You shouldn't feel, you know, it's a chore. Take your time and do it only when you're ready. But thanks, Nicoletta. Brilliant. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can try it.
Fabulous.
Hi,
Go ahead, Anna Chiara.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anna Chiara. I'm a primary school teacher, and I teach in Bardolino on Lake Garda from Monday to Friday mornings or afternoon. I teach in class. I've been a primary school teacher for 3 years, and this year is a double challenge for me because of all the rules of the virus and everything, and because it's the first year I teach English. But it's a good challenge for me. I'm excited about it, and I like my job. It gives me satisfaction, and I really like to listen to kids. And yeah, I think they have their own world, which is worth to be explored.
Okay, fantastic, Anna Chiara. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Actually, can I actually put the bar higher, a notch, and ask you to look at the slide I'm sharing. Can you actually see that there's 1, 2, 3, and 4? Because now I'd like to get into the listening skills, and I'd like us to try and listen to maximum 4 people, not at least 4. Let's just have a maximum of 4 people right for now. Try to listen to the next 4 people, or 1 or 2, whichever way you prefer. And try to remember who they are, what they do, how they say they do it, where, when, and why. Okay, because we need to start thinking, why do we find it easy or hard, and what strategies we're actually putting in place when we listen. Incidentally, if I speak too fast, if my accent becomes, too obscure to understand, please do let me know. It is my job to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so let's crank it up, and let's try to take notes of what our colleagues are saying, right? So who wants to be next?
Can I try?
Hi, Paola. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm Paola. I'm a teacher, supporting teacher, like Nicoletta, in the middle school. And I live in Perugia, near Perugia. But I like my job, but my real job is teaching piano, because I'm a musician. And okay, that's all.
It's fun. That's fine. That's perfectly fine, Paola. Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Okay, I can try if you want, Sara.
Go for it. Hi, Laura.
Okay. I'm Laura, yes. Okay, I'm a teacher too. I teach English at a secondary school. My school is in Salò on Lake Garda. And well, I'm also teaching both online and in class. And I love my job. I love my students. I think I'm very lucky, both for the setting of the school and for the students I have. In fact, when we arrive to school, get to school in the morning, we can see the lake and it's beautiful. Yeah, why I am a teacher? Because I've always liked teaching. I'm fond of literature. I'm fond of the language, and so that's all.
Thank you very much, Laura. Next one, please.
Okay, I will go. I am an Elettra, yes, and I am an English teacher for this year at a secondary school here in Verona. How I teach languages, which means English and Italian as a second language. I try to be as the most authentic possible in my lessons, during my lessons. And I do it because I think it enriches me, and it enriches me and my students, and because we build together new competencies and new knowledge. And I used to live abroad, but in a French-speaking country, and that's very difficult for me because I feel more confident in French speaking than in English speaking. So it is a big challenge for me. And that's it.
Thank you, Anna. Next person? Anyone else?
Well, my name is Christina,
Hey, yeah.
and I work as a teacher in a primary school on the outskirts of Verona in Soave. And my pupils are very young, and I like teaching them. And I think that every day is a challenge day with them. And I try to do my job with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of patience as well.
Thank you very much, Christina.
Thank you.
So are you all taking notes, yeah? Did you manage to take some notes so far? Good, then let's carry on. Anyone else would like to...
Can you hear me? Maybe me.
Hello, is it Susanna?
Yes, that's me.
No. Go ahead, Susanna.
Hello everybody. This is Susanna. I'm a primary teacher too. I teach in Bardolino too, like my colleagues before. And
oh yeah.
How? Why it was hard? Listen, I have to answer that.
We keep it for later. We keep it for later.
Oh.
Just for now, we just stick to the 6 points: who,
Okay.
what, how, where, when, and why.
When and why? So I said that I teach in Bardolino in primary school, and I teach with a special project called Hocus and Lotus, and with the students. What I can say? I don't know. I teach math too, and I love it. And I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, that's it then. Thank you very much, Susanna.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I can go on. I can present myself. I am Emanuela. I am a teacher. I teach Italian. I teach letters at Galilei Secondary School. I like very much my job, and I try to do it with enthusiasm and passion. I've been trying to learn English for a lot of years without great successes, to say the truth. I'm here, so
it's gonna be like my Zoom.
I'm still trying, and yeah, listening is my weak point. So I hope to improve my competencies.
You have a lot of company, believe me, Manuela. Me first. Okay. Anyone else?
Okay, I'll go.
Go for it.
Yeah, my name is Valeria. I'm from Villafranca, and I teach here in a primary school. I'm an English teacher, but I also teach other subjects. And of course, I love my job, and I like teaching through drama, with books, or I want kids to have fun whenever it's possible. And I guess that's it.
Fabulous. Thank you, Valeria. Next one.
Okay, I could try now, even though I am linked with my school. Okay, I'm Marilena.
Okay, Elena.
Marilena.
Oh, Marilena, sorry.
Marilena, yes, I'm from Mestre, next to Venice. And I have been teaching for so long time, more than 30 years. I'm fond of English. I'm fond of everything linked with the UK. I, of course, teach in a secondary school. It is information technology students, and it's a technological secondary school. I have been teaching here for 16 years, but before I used to teach also at Liceo. And how do I teach it? I am always being an enthusiast with teaching, with English, with students, being in contact with them. And of course now that I am quite alone, because I have got 2 children. One is in London. It has been living there for more than 1 year. He works there. And the second one instead lives in Milan. I have got a lot of time, or spare time, as my husband, of course, has a lot to do with his work, with his job as a medical doctor. What else? I'd like to learn something more about English, because, you know, at so much time that I have been teaching to secondary school students, so you are stuck in your vocabulary, you know. Okay. And so I'd like to enlarge my knowledge, to try doing something different and also more interesting than what I'm doing usually every day. Okay.
Fabulous.
And what else? I am used
Marilena,
to taking my students.
I need to be, yeah, perhaps the last detail. Go for it.
The last details is that until last year, I used to take my students abroad to the UK. But unfortunately, this year, it's impossible for me to go there. Okay, so I think that's enough for me.
Okay,
and for
thank
you
you.
to listen to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marilena.
Thank
Who's
you.
left?
Sarah, can I introduce myself very shortly?
Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Stefano Cobello. I'm the one coordinating the European Polo of Knowledge, huge network of education institutions at national level, about 4,000 institutions. And I know most of you because we've been in contact with Paola, Laura, Millie. Millie, she is collaborating with us. And mostly my job is, as a teacher, to write European projects and to coordinate them. And this is a training course we are trying to organize. We started last year for the first time, and now it's going on with Sarah and Maria Pia. So,
well, thank you very much for sharing.
I think I'm the last one. My name is Claudia.
I can't see you, Claudia.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to explain why. Because my camera hasn't been working for about 2 weeks, and it's really a problem for me. Also because I'm teaching online and not only from school, and so my students can't see me, but I can help. My camera is dead. Has been dead for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
pardon.
Seriously, don't worry about it. I'll soon have some technological problem myself. So.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm an English teacher. I've been a teacher for about 25 years. I started as a primary teacher. After 12 years, I decided to jump to high school from primary school, and I've been studying a lot all of my life because I like studying, and I try to convey my passion for knowledge, for studying to my students. I'm studying archaeology. I have already taken all my exams. I'm at the end of my course, the postgraduate course, and I have just to write my final thesis, and then I'm an archaeologist. Well, being an archaeologist is a really big thing. I mean, you become an archaeologist when you work in a field, in archaeological field. For me, it's rather difficult because I teach, I have a family and everything, but I try to do something and to visit museums and archaeological sites to enjoy what I see and I try to understand what I see under my feet. My stone. I love my stone, like my husband always says when we visit some archaeological sites together. Okay, that's me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Could I ask you, I think I hear crackling, so someone of you might have their microphone open, and it was a bit difficult to understand the last person for this reason. If you could kindly check whether your microphone is off when someone else is speaking, obviously. Anyone else wants to go?
Hello, I think I'm the only one.
No,
Or
Elena.
Oh.
There's also Tiziana.
Okay.
Give room to Tiziana.
Yep.
I don't understand if you can hear me or if you can watch. I don't know what, because can you? Okay. Who am I? Okay, who am I? Who am I? I am Tiziana. I'm 43 years old. I am from Caserta, but I live in Modena at the moment because I am working here from September. I will stay here 1 year. I'm working as a helper. I don't know how is it, collaboratore scolastico, school helper probably. I don't know. In a school,
assistant.
but school assistant probably. Okay,
yes,
and
school assistant.
I'm studying hard for the concorso ordinario, and I'm happy. I have this chance to practice my language somehow, because it's a very good opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay,
Tiziana.
my 30 seconds.
Don't worry. Elena, are you with us?
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
Traveling train now, somewhere outside Bologna.
I think, yeah. I think you're out. I think your microphone is not picking up.
Stefano,
Never mind.
Well, Elena, she's on the train going to
Yeah.
Bologna. She's coming back to Marche region. She's
Yeah.
originally from Romana. She's a psychotherapist. She's collaborating with the network since 5 years, and she's my right hand indeed. She's a very good expert in writing European projects and coordinate them, and she speaks quite good English indeed.
Good. Elena, I hope you'll give me a helping hand as well, because looks like I'll need it a lot. Right. So thank you very much, first of all, for your presentations. And whilst I let you think about what you found easy or hard, what strategies you put in place in order to listen to others speaking, and really I would like you to think about all the strategies that you use, even those that some, you might think, well, this is given for granted, but no, have a good thought. Why was it easy? Why was it hard? And what were your strategies, those that you put in place? Whilst you do that, please lend me an ear, because I'm trying to, I would like to tell you a bit about the lesson organization, the one I'd like to adopt for our future meetings. First of all, I apologize if this is not as organized as I wished it to be. I really do need to keep abreast of Zoom and learn all its tricks. So our lessons will consist of 2 hours, and there'll be a break somewhere in between these 2 hours, just to give you a bit of a breather, and myself. And but you might want to decide and let me know about that. Moreover, lesson will follow the program that I have already shared with you. Hopefully you found it in the first folder, the W0, i.e. week 0. I did put a program there for the first part, the part about listening that started today. And I do apologize, my phone keeps on ringing all the time and I need to switch it off. There you go. Although I like WhatsApp, I'm afraid that I'm not very good at keeping up with the threads, and I hope that I will learn to do that too. Please be patient with me for that as well. The other important thing is that I intend to apply what I have preached to others before me, which is to anticipate content, i.e. to flip some contents, making sure that they are with you before we start, so that you anticipate what we're going to talk about. Hopefully you will find that motivating, but also you will, it will increase your understanding of what we do. I do hope that we complete as many parts of the program as possible, the one that I prepared for listening. But if we don't, I leave it up to you whether you want to carry on with that or make a break and start exploring the next skill, which is another receptive skill, reading. But we will think about that perhaps later on in the program. I would like to keep the grammar section at the end of the four initial lessons. It will give you a chance to think about what you need looking into. I do have an idea of what I'd like to look at with you, and I have put the grammar I'd like to look at in the program. If you want to add to that, please do let me know. So, how about we start with telling each other what we found difficult and what we found easy, and the strategies. If you don't mind, it won't be possible to listen to all of you every time. So I prepared your names and some little pieces of paper here, and I will try to fish out randomly to ask for your opinion. If you do not wish to reply, please tell me, pass, and I will pass on to the next person. The first person I have is Sandra. Sandra, what is it that you find easy? Or what is it that you found hard, actually? Sandra might not be with us now.
No, the microphone. She's speaking, but she has the microphone off.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Now I'm on.
Okay.
Well, I found it quite easy to understand everybody. Of course, it's easier for me to understand you, that you have a clear accent, and actually I think your mother tongue or bilingual, because your accent is very, very good. So it's easier to understand you than other people, but I think I got most of it.
Good. Any strategies you want to tell us?
Well, I took notes, but actually I was concentrating myself a lot in order to get everything. So no problem so far. May I add one thing? I'm so happy because a lot of people are living in Lake Garda, and I love Lake Garda. And I spent half of my week at the lake, actually, because I live in Rovigo. Yes, but I live in Lake Garda as well. So maybe I hope there will be chances to meet with the other colleagues. So you never know.
Yeah, that would be nice, actually. It would make a nice break from all this online business, wouldn't it? It would be really grand to meet as many of you as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I ask Mariana? Is Mariana with us? No. So Paola, are you around, Paola?
Will you say Mariana or Marilena?
Oh dear, I've got Mariana down. Mariana Castiglioni, or is it Marilena?
But it's me, yes, Marilena, it's
me.
me.
I'm so sorry,
no,
Marilena.
Don't worry.
Thanks.
So, Marilena.
So, Marilena, have you got any tricks for us?
Okay. Okay. According to me, the most important thing is when you are listening to somebody is trying to find out something that is of interest to you. In this way, I try to, if I have got the person in front of me, I try to find out something that that could be linked to the person, you know. And so, for this reason, it's easier. It's easier to remember or to recall, okay, the data. What
and
is
did you find it? Did you find it easy? Did you find it predominantly easy or difficult?
No, it was easy.
Anything you found difficult?
Sometimes when we can hear properly, you know, that's difficult when the voice goes down, and so that's difficult for me to grasp all these sounds, you know, and to concentrate if I can't hear properly, you know. That's what is most difficult for me to do. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to take 1 second now of your attention to tell you a secret, actually. Well, secret. To tell you a very important information about C1. At C1, it might not be possible to choose what we're interested in. C1 is when, you know, someone said earlier, for example, C1 is the level at which we need to function when we embark in very high stake examinations, in very high stake learning, i.e. university education or training courses and so on and so forth. So interest, yeah, you might be interested in the subject in general or in a subject, but it may not depend from you what you have to listen to. And this is why we need to have strategies. Roughly on the slide that I showed you earlier, you have the breakdown of what constitute those higher level skills that we talk about when we're talking about CALP. We need to be able to track down who, what, how, where, and why, when and why. And those of you, did I hear correctly that some of you are actually studying at university currently?
Sarah, excuse me, I can't understand you.
Yes.
I haven't understood.
Oh dear, sorry. Shall I? Was it the microphone?
No.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can't understand a word that I think it's an important word I should understand, but I don't know. I don't know if I don't know the word or I can't understand it. It's coal.
Oh, CALP. Okay, so CALP is C-A-L-P. And we said earlier, it refers to cognitive. C is for cognitive, A is for academic, L is for language, and P, proficiency. These are the skills that, these are advanced skills, unlike the BICS, the basic interpersonal communicative skills that we need to have, for example, when we go and visit a country for touristic purposes, when we pursue spare time interests. CALP instead is an advanced range of skills, not one skill, but it's actually a range of skills that we have, and it is not a native skill. It is something that has, for example, nothing to do with the accent, although the accent comes in play when we're talking about clarity, but it hasn't got anything to do about accent, and I will show you examples of this, not today. It has to do with knowing how to maintain the logic of what we say. It will be the same logic that we aim to track down when we listen to someone's presentation. Today we have applied it to listening to other people presenting themselves. not that presenting themselves doesn't happen in an academic context. On the contrary, people are very keen to introduce themselves at academic level, but mainly not to tell other people what they do in their spare time, but what they do in their job, what they do as a research interest. Basically, they want to hook a very selective and selected audience in order to capture their professional interest, whatever professional means in our advanced context. So hopefully that we will have reason to clarify it further as we go as we go along. Is that okay? Good. So thanks for the question, and I would like now to propose another listening activity. If one, I'm able to switch on the video again, and two, if I'm able to, oh, actually I did. I have shared with you another slide. You can find it in the same folder that I tried to share with you. And it's called English is Everywhere. So whilst you find the slide, I will try to turn the video on and start it when you tell me that you're ready, unless you have any other questions, which is okay. I may randomly, so what I want to do is come off. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, yeah? Whilst you try to find the slide and I try to find the video. Okay. Are there any questions? I'm actually ready with the video.
Go on.
Are there any questions? No? Okie dokie. I did say that I was ready, yeah? Oops. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to find what it is that I want to share, and it's not there. Blast. Right. Let me try again, yeah? Please bear with. No.
Okay.
I'm just hopeless at this. I am utterly hopeless at this. So I want to share it. Right.
We've been held in so many meetings, and even Maria Pia was able to share the screen and without any problem. So I think it's under question. Unfortunately, right. I cannot yet give you host permission as an owner because I'm recording and screening.
Can we put on hold the recording, or do I have to make a total fool of myself as I fish out the video? Okay, I'll try to have a professional countenance now.
Try again.
Oh my goodness, this is just ridiculous. Right, I have opened it. I'm sure I have opened it.
Yeah, share screen.
All right.
Click on the green button, check the page with the screen, and you're supposed to do it.
Right. Okay, so I think I'm ready to share it.
Do it. Let's see. Sandra, she's
this is ridiculous.
No, it isn't.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll try again. Sorry. The video is open. I have it on my bar.
No, you should open it completely and then share the screen on the video. When you share the screen, you can
Are you kidding me?
Page.
Oh my gosh, that's why I couldn't find it then. Blast.
Of course.
Right, okay. I feel like Numpty Dumpty.
Amanda? Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you are. Okay.
Okay, so this is the video. Are we ready? Do you have the slide in front of you?
Now we got the video in front of us.
But I have told everybody earlier that in the folder I shared with them, there is a file called English is Everywhere. So if you open that slide, I'm going to tell you how to navigate the slide. Yeah?
Where did you write the link? Could you write the link in the chat, please?
The link to what, sorry?
The link to open the slides.
Okay, fine. So let me come out of this. Let me
You can do it even sharing the screen. It doesn't matter.
Okay, here we go. Get the link.
Yeah.
Copy it.
Into the chat.
And goodness me, where on earth did I put the chat? I'm going to have a brain freeze now. This thing is not going to.
You should find chat at the bottom.
I have found chat. I'm not able to.
You can copy it.
Yeah, you need to Control-C, Control-V to paste. Control-C to copy. Control-V.
But I'm not able to. I'm not able to enlarge the screen anymore.
It's open the screen. We see the screen.
Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, I need to do that because you're seeing all my family history in a moment.
I like Stone Age anyway.
Okay, so now that chat. Okay, here we go.
So I can.
Right, I'm going on holiday now. No, instead, I'm going to ask you to open the link and I will start playing the video unless I fail.
Okay, I can't because he asked me the approval. He asked me to say, I sent to you the request to open them.
Well,
so you copy the link in the wrong way. The link was the wrong link.
I think the
okay.
I think the others are.
Go on.
I think the others are already in because only a few needed the access,
yes,
which I have given.
Send another link, not this one. Probably this one is something that you have to ask this, but it doesn't matter. Go on, go forward. I will do without.
Okay. So can you, participants, colleagues, kindly, can you tell me, do you have the slide in front of you?
Yes.
Good. Thank goodness. No. Okay, so.
I haven't understood where we can find slides.
I don't have the
mail.
Either. I don't have the slides either.
No, me too.
You have, yeah. I have it.
Good.
I received 2 mails and I asked the access, but nothing happened, I think.
Yeah.
I think I
there
saw
is no
someone
permission to enter.
I saw someone asking me for access earlier on. I'm sorry I couldn't give it because I was busy doing something, doing other things, and I do apologize for that. But I think that if you ask access, it's because you're trying to access with an email which that is different from the one that I took from the list Stefano gave me.
I'm
Someone,
sorry.
for example,
I'm trying to access with the right email, and he asked me once again this morning, yet not, but this time yes. He asked me a password or a permission that I haven't, and it's the same email. I didn't change anything. Yeah.
Okay. I was wrong because I am linked with my school, with the other one. It was the institutional one, and so I had to open the link with another one, a Gmail.
Okay.
So,
it's okay. I'm giving access to everyone. I've just opened the email and I'm giving access to everyone asking.
I received them on my personal mail, not school mail. That is the one I used to enroll, I think, but I can open it. They say it's necessary to be authored.
Same position for everyone.
I have given access to all those who've just asked.
No, you didn't. No need us. You need access. Ask for access. Or switch to another account, but another account. What? This is
Yeah, I will need to do that. I will need to do that. I'm trying to do it in another way so that I'm not going to waste too much of your time. But I can see, for example, as I speak, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people in sharing the slide with me.
Yes.
So it's working for some, it's not working for others, and I'm sorry I don't have the technical knowledge. I'm quite intuitive, I'm afraid, with this thing.
Sorry, Sarah. Is English is everywhere the slide that you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you can share it.
Well, in my mobile, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, next time.
Does anyone can share those slides on WhatsApp?
Exactly.
Oh, yes, of course.
As I said earlier, I'm really sorry that I found myself at the last minute with this lesson. In the future, I promise you will have everything in advance, at least 1 week in advance, so that you can look at that in your own time, and you can actually check whether you've got the documents that I actually require you to look at. I do apologize for this lesson. I totally lost it, and I don't know what I'm sharing anymore. Or not. I do hope that, please do put it, please do put it in the WeChat if you can, so that other people start collecting it in the meantime, yeah?
You got an image. No, you are sending, all of you are sending image. Can you upload the file? Can you download it in your computer and upload it?
No, sorry, I can't.
This is just a screenshot. Why you can't?
Because stupidly, I actually connected the external drive in another one. I'm sorry, I'm really mucking things up.
Okay,
this
so
time.
Go on with something else. We cannot.
Well, why don't I try and do this? Can you see my? Can you still see my screen?
No.
No. Right. So if you see a lovely picture. If you see a lovely picture of me and myself at Stonehenge, you know,
we saw you. Yeah.
We see just
feast your eyes. Feast your eyes. He's such a lovely guy, actually. I look forward to you to meet my son very soon. And now I'm going to take the presentation. I'm going to try and present the video as I intended to do. Can you see? Can you see the video?
Yes, we can't hear anything.
Oh gosh.
Because you need to go up and or share the audio. There's an option.
Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing because I feel.
Why? You can do it only when you are in sharing.
Yeah.
Space.
But first I want to open the document so that I don't have to fish around for it.
Okay. Okay, we got the slides then. Someone has posted Elena and Monica.
Thank you, Elena. Thank goodness for Elena. Okay. Here we go.
I told you, you have to share your audio. If you go up where it's the green part, there is also sharing the audio in the upper side. In my computer is upper side, maybe it's down. You need.
Yeah, you did tell me before. Share. Here we go.
Okay, now start, so we can hear you.
I mentioned in previous steps that students often say that listening is difficult. But if I had to compare the opportunities that students have now with those they had only 10 years ago, I think that students now are much luckier. These days, English is everywhere, not only as the language of travel and business, but also online. If you're on YouTube listening to a song, playing a game, or just watching a movie on Netflix, the chances are you're listening to someone speak in English or have the opportunity to listen in English. So there's really no excuse not to practice. I'd like you to take a moment and think about everything you typically listen to in English during a normal week. Is there anything you find difficult to listen to? And what do you find easy? Watch some students giving their answers to those questions and take either your own notes or use the grid provided to answer these questions. We will share answers at the end.
Music, movies, even theater, live art. So definitely different, but yeah. I think the challenge is really more so on how, it depends on how it's delivered. If the presentation is more interactive and it's not monotone, then it's much easier to pay attention. So paying attention, not losing focus is the most difficult part. And then
I like to watch tech reviewer, like some reality show like MasterChef, or some song that's written in English. Well, I think because that's not my mother tongue, so I cannot understand 100% of it, but I think like for 90% I understand, because first the subtitle, I can read it clearly, so at time to time I decide to turn up the subtitle and just listen to it, and amazingly I can understand like still 80% of it, so I like it's fine, just listen it without the subtitle. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of music and audiobook on my way to work. TV, yeah, movies. I am a big fan of movies, yeah. It's easy to listen if they're talking in not maybe slow, but medium kind of speed. But if they're talking fast, maybe it's really hard to understand.
Okay. Stopping sharing. So this video is uploaded in the drive, and in the future I will find a better system to share documents with you, because it is really important that you have them to listen to as many times as you can. If it depended on one listening in lesson, it would be impossible to take stock of all the information that we need to go away with after a lecture. Yeah. So okay. So I'll give you also the transcript of this video, so that you start matching the written word and the audio. So let's think about what we've just listened to, and the information that I've asked you to think about. What is it, for example, that you found easy in this video? Can I ask Piera to talk to us about it? If you don't want Piera, just let me know. Is Piera with us? Piera Battilocchio? Can you hear me? Yeah?
She's not here.
Okie dokie. Fine, thanks. Anna Chiara, can I ask you, what is it? Is there something in particular that you found easy? Let's focus on that.
It was very like each person said talk for a very short time. So
Okay.
we didn't have, you know, it was short, so my attention was focused every time, because even by changing, like the speaker was changing, so this helped me to pay attention again. You know, sometimes if a speaker speaks for a long time, you kind of, I personally kind of lose, you know, I lose myself in the flow. But because it was a short time, it was, yeah, a good reason.
Yeah.
To, yeah.
And you touched on an important aspect of CALP listening skills. Do you remember the famous advanced skills that we need to have at C1? They require us to talk knowing exactly what we are saying. I know that exactly is a big word, and I shouldn't even be using it. But when we speak for academic purposes, we need to speak with a clear logic, and we need to follow it repetitively. Repetition in the good thing is that in C1 and in advanced skills, repetition helps. I'm sure there's a Latin saying, repetita juvent. Why? Do you remember that earlier on I said that when we speak at C1, we often have a very clear agreement with our audience. We share an interest, and we wanted to convey usually knowledge on a determinate field. And this is the first agreement. The other agreement that we need to have with our audience is that because what we're talking about is often rather complex, we need to have the agreement with them that we will help them find the information that they need to find in what we are telling them. And we will map this information. We will make sure that it follows a rather repetitive pattern. The pattern is roughly what I said earlier: the why, the what, the how, the when, and the results that we aim to have, or that we had. If we're talking about research, for example, that we did, or a work that we did, a survey that we did, or information that we already possess and want to pass on. I was actually, well, at this point, I was actually asking you whether you wanted a break, but we had such a break with me fumbling around and finding my videos and stuff that I'm asking you, would you like a break, or would you like me to carry on?
We can carry on, for me.
Yes. I agree. For me, you can carry on. No problems.
Yes, no break.
Yeah, carry on for me too.
Okay. So from the listening, we started by listening at free talk. And listening at free talk is difficult because we don't really predict what the person wants to say, why they are saying it. And at C1, I'm glad to say that hardly ever happens, because when we go, for example, to a conference, when we go to, when we listen at C1, usually we listen to something that we have agreed, as I said earlier. Sometimes we have to listen at C1, something that we, when we need to sit an exam. So we move from, at C1, we oftentimes move from listening to people speaking about their pastimes to people talking to us about either the information, for example, that we hear at in exam conditions. So IELTS, Cambridge, what's the other one? TOEFL. Use these strategies when preparing students for a C1, and of course to test them. So for example, in exam conditions, your vocabulary and grammar skills need to be framed within time conditions, and they need to be framed within exam conditions. What does it mean? It means that you will need to train yourselves to listen, for example, only once or twice at most to some information. And you will need to have strategies in place to collect that information, frame it down, take it down on paper or on a grid, a pre-prepared grid, so that you don't lose valuable information for that. In exam conditions, we will see later on when we talk about speaking, you will need to have a pattern for speaking that allows you not to think much of when you're saying it or where you're putting that type of information, but more likely the order in which you will give certain information. For example, the background information of what you want to say, the aim that your information has, the main aim for your speaking. The people who are involved would be next. The means that you pursued in order to collect that kind of information, the results that you have or that you aim to have, and the purpose. This is usually the order that you need to follow, and therefore the background, the aims, the means, the results, and the whole purpose of what you're talking about, of your speech or your presentation. Are there any questions so far? No? Okay.
I would have a question, just to have an idea. Who is going to be our examiners at the end of the course?
The examiner will be me. Okay. And obviously, you know, whatever when I draft first the single tests at the end of each unit. So, for example, the listening is one unit. Obviously, Stefano will go through it, and another colleague of mine probably will go through it if I'm lucky, in fact. And they will be mediated in this way, so that you have the certainty that I won't ask unreasonable questions, and that there will be purpose in asking you to go through determinate exercises.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. Okay. So now, if I manage to go back to... No, I need to go to the other computer. And try to share this with you again. Okay. Oh, actually, to my risk and peril, I would like to signal, I would like to show you that in the drive, I actually put a student feedback. It is a very simple feedback. Kindly tell me what went well, if anything, what needs improving, and I think I have an idea of what needs improving, and what must be avoided. And I think I have a very good idea of that as well. Okay. Sorry, and thanks for your patience once again. I managed to switch everything off. I do apologize. My computer is not responding.
You're too anxious.
I am.
And
I'm so sorry.
No, your computer feels it. Feels that you're anxious.
I think so. I think
Don't worry, relax.
It looks as
You're
I
wonderful,
feel.
Sarah, really. You're wonderful. Take it easy.
I do not deserve it.
Don't be so hard on you.
Take your time. Well,
I do not deserve you.
Yeah, we know how difficult it is. Don't worry.
Sarah, we passed through all these and still
Yes.
now trying to do lessons to our students.
Yeah. Okay. Now, well, I am basically on my knees and a bit begging you and a bit thanking you for all your patience.
Okay, this is the first lesson.
Sorry?
Yeah. It's just the first lesson, so don't worry.
Sarah, probably you need a couple of minutes of break. You probably need, because we are listening to you, you're speaking all the time.
Well, in fact, I wanted to stop listening. I actually wanted to stop listening because I had a listening for you. It needed to be a rich listening lesson. And for this to happen, I need to be quiet now and make you listen instead to, I wanted to have a look at some important things to prepare, some strategies to prepare when we go through high stake testing. For example, do you know roughly how long we would have in a IELTS or a Cambridge exam type for the listening skills?
45 minutes, maybe? I don't know. I suppose so.
On both exams, roughly, they are 40 minutes. And the actual time for the listening is around 30 minutes. Although they do give you another 10 for, for finding the forms and making sure you transfer the answer onto the answer sheet. Something that when exams go online, hopefully will stop being in the way. So roughly it's 30 minutes and you have 10 minutes to transfer all the information. So basically everything that you listen to onto the answer sheet. And how many of you, for example, know the types of exercises that we come across in high stake examinations?
Well, I know something because I used to prepare to take a C1 a few years ago. Then, of course, I didn't go to the end. So yes, it's quite complicated. I mean, there are listening, there are writing, there are speaking, and I can't remember the last one. Maybe.
Yeah, let's focus on the listening though.
And
the listening therefore starts. The listening takes 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very good reason why it takes 40 minutes. 40 minutes, for example, is the longest that you are allowed to speak if you go to conference. Nobody will stay at conference to listen to you for more than 40 minutes because either they will be asleep or they will be running somewhere else to listen to someone else speaking. And this is because when we listen at C1, we are not allowed to take more than 40 minutes of anybody's time. This is another agreement that we have with our audiences. When we engage their higher skills, we need to do it for 40 minute stops. Otherwise, we have either corpses in front of us or people who are running away from you and never to come back, really. I hope you're not going to do that to me. Anyway, so this listening is actually going to be divided into 4 parts, and we will look at later what parts there will be. The next question is therefore, how many times do you think you will be able to listen to recordings?
2. A maximum of
Yeah.
2. Yes.
It's 2, but for IELTS exams, it's just once.
Exactly. Yeah, indeed. And the relevant information that you need to answer each question appears in the recording in the same order that you see them in the question paper. That will help you, so that you don't have to randomly search for information. It will follow exactly the order in which you have your questions. The next question is, do you know, let's talk about accent, for example. Now, in the past, there was only one type of accent, no matter where on the planet you used to take the exam. What about accents? Does any of you know what kind of accents are we likely to hear now?
All of them.
Yes, all of them.
All of them.
All of them is a big word.
Both British accent and American accent as well. And Australian, I think.
And Australian,
well.
yeah, Australian, right.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my little pieces of paper just to make sure that I interact at least once with all of you. Tiziana. Is Tiziana? Have I lost Tiziana? She's had enough. Okay, Emanuele.
So can you repeat the question, please?
No, I am here.
What accent?
I am here. I'm listening to you.
Emanuele, I wanted to ask you, do you know about what type of accents do you think you're going to hear in a high-stake examination?
British English, I hope. But maybe also American English, Australian, or
yes.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, actually, you need to make a point of being exposed to a wider variety of accents, because especially 3, Mexican English, Nigerian English, and Chinese English are starting to be part of the range included in high-stake exams. And this is because English is everywhere. And because it is everywhere, it cannot include only a certain, the usual range of, that they used to call them colonial accents for reasons that we're not going into. And in fact, there is a case, believe it or not, for including Italian accents. I will have an example of that in the next lesson, actually, when we think about what is a good accent and what is, a bad accent, which I hope nobody will define an accent as such. What do you think makes a good accent, and what do you think makes a bad accent? Monica.
Well, good and bad accent. I think it depends on the spelling of the words. I mean, if you, when you speak, you spell it. It's not spelling the right word, but you use it correctly. Or if you misspell the words, maybe it's very difficult for the listener. Or to use your I don't know, if you are Italian, I mean, a lot of time when you hear a foreign person speaking English, you can understand where this person is from because of the accent. Okay, so good or bad, I think it's good when the communication runs, okay, and you understand what the other person is saying. It is bad when you don't understand what the other person is saying because of the accent. I don't know if I made myself clear. I mean, maybe the structures, the grammar, the words are even correct, but if the accent is not proper, then it makes communication hard.
Okay, I think you touched on a very important aspect.
Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah.
And I would like to add, the rhythm is for me important. The speed of the speech is important to me.
Yeah, it is. You both touched on very important notions, and I'm really glad that I've got the time. I've got the opportunity to say this. Good or bad, first of all, is are no longer terms used to define any accents. They belong to this prescriptive grammar, a grammar that had one ideal in mind. There was, it speaks of superiority. It speaks of all the things that actually British people have acknowledged in the range of texts, spoken texts, written texts that they offer in the Cambridge, for example. Good or bad are defined in terms of clarity. An accent will always convey identity, and as long as it is clear, it will be good enough to be in a test. So do not be surprised if in an IELTS test or in a Cambridge test, you hear Chinese English, you hear Mexican English, you hear Nigerian English, Scottish English, Welsh accent, yeah, because I mean, there's also the Welsh accent, but when it's like that, it's not really clear at all. I gave you an example, for example, of Welsh accent, because it's the only one I sort of know. As long as it is clear and it doesn't fall too much on personal ranges, it is good enough to belong in a test. Any observations on that?
I would like to add that the rhythm is important, but even the intonation, the correct intonation when a person is speaking.
Indeed, because they are technical aspects. And when we're talking about technical aspects, we are therefore on something that can be measured and on something that can be adapted. You could never adapt someone's identity to listening, but you can adapt your range, the tone of your voice, your mannerism, and everything technical around how around presentations and how you want to come across. Pretty much everything that I have not been able to do today. Sorry. Okay. So with your permission then, probably the last thing that we do, I'd like to go on and explore the 4 sections of high-stake tests. The social context, the social context, interaction or monologue, and the educational or training context. Again, either conversation or monologue. Was it at all clear, or do you want me to repeat something?
I haven't.
So basically, sorry?
I haven't understood what we have to do. Last thing that you said.
Okay, so when we prepare ourselves for a C1, and not just for the tests, yeah, the main tasks at C1 are presenting, which is probably easier to do because you decide what you present on, and you decide, therefore, you have time to prepare yourself. You can prepare yourself on the topic, and you can prepare yourself on the vocabulary, you can check your grammar, and you can prepare notes on which to present. A lot more difficult is when you are asked to interact. You will be asked to interact on a range of purposes, on a range of topics that you cannot present. You will be asked to listen to context, to topics that you have not prepared well, or that you have studied, but generically, and therefore not knowing which one you will be tested on. So with your permission, I'd like to listen to some examples of the first type of texts that we might listen to. Can you tell me whether you're able to hear it?
Yes, we can.
Good.
Sorry, Sarah, I have to go. I have to leave.
Ciao, Paola.
Ciao. See you next time. Bye. Bye.
Oh, sorry. Is someone say, oh, Nicoletta. Sorry about that. I couldn't hear you.
I can't hear anything.
Paula went, not me. I can stay.
I don't hear anything.
You can't hear it?
No.
I'll try again.
No, I can't hear.
Okay, sorry. Let me open it from another port.
Good morning. Welcome. How may I help you? I've come in to make a reservation for a friend. And your friend's name is Mackay, Sandra Mackay. That's M-A-C-K-A-Y. Thank you.
Were you able to listen this time?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, were you able to hear, not listen? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make so much of an issue about this one because it was straightforward. As you heard, it was a dialogue and it was in a relatively easy context to understand, a transaction between someone in a hotel and the hotel receptionist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the type of social context that you should be asked to, you should expect to in a high stake exam at the very start, so when it's relatively easy. And then there are monologues, and they sound a bit like this. We're still moving within the social context, but this time we're asked to listen to dialogues. Here we go.
Hello, and thanks for joining me on the Art Scene tonight, brought to you by your local radio station 2ZG, and made possible by the generous sponsorship of Bertrand's Music and Video Store. Firstly, I want to announce that the refurbished Arts Centre downtown is opening soon, with some spectacular visual art displays and performances that you won't want to miss.
Okay, so this time we had a monologue. Shall I play it again? Because I need to ask you, what do you think is a C1 in this monologue? I'll play it again.
Hello, and thanks for joining me on the Art Scene tonight, brought to you by your local radio station 2ZG, and made possible by the generous sponsorship of Bertrand's.
We cannot hear you properly.
Probably this is the
I want
task.
to announce that the refurbished Arts Centre downtown is opening soon, with some spectacular visual art displays and performances that you won't want to miss.
Was someone telling me something?
At the beginning, the voice was coming and going. It wasn't stable. Then you increase the volume and it was much better. Could you have it once again? Can we have it listening?
I will try to share it in another way. I'm going to do it like that now because I don't want to spend the last 15 minutes digging about my files.
It's only the first part. We missed the first part.
I'll play it again. I'll play it again, and I'd like you to let me know why you think it is a C1.
Accent.
Hello, and thanks for joining me on the Arts Scene tonight, brought to you by your local radio station 2ZG, and made possible by the generous sponsorship of Bertrand's Music and Video Store. Firstly, I want to announce that the refurbished Arts Centre downtown is opening soon, with some spectacular visual art displays and performances that you won't want to miss.
Okay, so why do you think this is a C1?
Radio broadcast.
Okay, why is it a C1 radio broadcast?
I think
it has very little to do with the channel of information chosen for this.
It's about art. Refurbished art.
It has to do with the fact that the person who's speaking actually has a pattern of textual organization. So the pattern of textual organization is sequential. Do you recognize what I'm saying?
He is introducing himself, and he is speaking about the program and the sponsor of the program related to these performances, visual art performances and spaces.
We will look at these patterns of organization a lot more, especially when we move on to writing. We need to have them very clearly, and we need to recognize them straight away, actually, in a listening test. The person says, first gives the background. Do you remember that it was the first thing to give? After the background, he goes straight into saying what will happen first, second, and last. So this is the sequence, basically. We need to recognize that this is a sequential text. It is often found at the beginning of, as we heard, introductions of various types, not only of radio programs, but actually at the beginning of a PhD, at the beginning of a conference. The person will make sure to introduce everything that they will say. And this is because the people listening at C1 will enter the same agreement. They will go to listen someone speaking at C1 only if they will announce what they're saying and if they will follow that order, that sequence, that logical order. This time it was sequential. We will see cause and effect. We will see problem, solution, and evaluation. But it needs to be clear, the language choices that we need to make must be clear. They will need to tell our audience, this is what I'm doing, this is the order in which I'm doing, and this is why you have a very good chance of understanding this very complicated piece of information that I'm passing on to you, because it has a logical order. And in this case, it was sequential. Do you have any questions? If not,
yes, I have one. You said before, you mentioned before a list of things that we should remember. You started from background and you ended with aim and purpose. Could you repeat the list again, please?
Yeah, I will have a lot of opportunities actually to repeat these at every point of the course. So we're talking about, first of all, we need to give a background. Second, we need to give the aim of our presentation or the aim that the activity we are talking about has. Then we will move on to talk about who was involved. The so-called participants. Then we move on to give details about the means, the methods, the how we did it, and the tools that we used. And then we will proceed to describe the processes that resulted from our methods, the results that we had, or the results that we hope to have if we are, for example, presenting a project. And we will conclude with the implication that it has for the audience, for future studies, for the people at work we're talking to. There is a very there's a very strict agreement that we have at C1 that we speak, and I'm not really talking about British people. Please do not think that British people came up with it. In fact, they were not. Like a lot of other things, they actually borrowed it and made it a staple of what, you know, of their academic life. But we will have this agreement with anyone we talk at C1 level. Any English one speaking English as an academic subject, as an academic vehicle of information. We will have exactly this kind of agreement. I will tell you first the background. The aims will follow. The participants will follow, i.e. who I did it with or who I did it for. The means I used or the tools that I used. The results I had. And what I hope to do with them, or what I managed to do with them, or what results I had with them. That's when I said it is repetitive. And thank goodness it is repetitive, because if it wasn't, at C1, usually we talk about something very difficult to grasp as it is. If we do not have an agreement with our speakers of when we say things, how long we engage their attention for, and the kind of logical patterns of organizations that we use, i.e. descriptive, which is the easiest, sequential, which is the second easiest. Now we go into more complicated, i.e. cause and effect, problem, solution, evaluation, or argumentative speaking, which requires not only us deciding how to present things, but taking accurate, painstakingly detailed stock of what the others are saying in order to be able to debate with them. Something that is going on a lot, or actually something that we were used to listening at, you know, the famous debates we had at presidential elections and so on and so forth. Not something that happened quite recently, I have to say, or at least it escaped me. But in a nutshell, this is what we're aiming to be able to do. Please do not be discouraged, first of all, of how appallingly I presented today. I let myself be defeated big time by a piece of technology that I was hoping to remember things about and didn't happen. Don't be discouraged by that, and don't be discouraged by words as, you know, such as, you know, agreement and the patterns of textual organization. You will see that if I am successful at all in teaching you this course, I will leave you with those. I will leave you with be very clear notes of how it is done so that you can use them for listening, first of all. I'm looking at the watch now, and it is 19:25. I think I have exhausted your academic skills, academic listening skills, and in a way I so hope that I have, that you will let me go. And I promise you